you know what is happening in Greece and what happened recently. Around midnight on the 17th of September in Nicaea, a working class district of Piraeus, Pavlos Fyssas, a 34-year-old man, musician, anti-fascist and community organizer, was stabbed to death by a gang of neo-Nazis, members of Golden Dawn. Now, based on eyewitness reports, Pavlos, along with a couple of his friends, were provoked, chased down the street and assaulted by up to 25 or 30 neo-Nazi thugs. One of them pulled up in a car and stabbed Pavlos Fyssas 3 times, twice in the heart. The trauma suggested experience and murderous intent, according to the medical examiner, who actually said that yesterday's murderers have been training on the bodies of immigrants for 3 years. The man arrested for the murder, a Golden Dawn member, was known in the area for his participation precisely in these kinds of attacks. Now, this last murderous strike against a well-known in the community anti-fascist is neither random nor isolated. On the evening of September 12, about 50 black-shirted followers of the neo-Nazi Golden Dawn group, armed with crowbars and bats studded with nails and screws, brutally attacked Communist Party and Communist youth members in the dockside district of Perama, near Piraeus. The unprovoked assault against the 20 KKE members of the Communist Party, who were distributing leaflets for their annual youth festival, led to the serious injury and hospitalization of 8 of them. Among them was injured Sotiris Poulikoyannis, who was the president of the Metal Worker Union of Piraeus. Now, the attack, once again, was neither spontaneous nor random. In a video taken on August 8, still available at the Golden Dawn official website, MPs of Golden Dawn promised to a gathering of Perama local workers who complained for losing jobs over the union's mobilization to violently put a stop to that kind of union organizing. So, a month later, as they had promised, they came back and executed what until the assassination of Pavlos Fyssas was one of their most murderous attacks. The rest is all familiar. The police made a late appearance and arrested 3 suspects, one of them involved in the attack against Egyptian fishermen in Perama just a few months earlier, a year earlier, June 2012. And that only after the perpetrators were identified by the victims. So again, the police took no initiative. So far, nobody has been charged with any crime, and the political parties, among which New Democracy, the head of the ruling coalition, quite belatedly denounced the violence. AKNY, Greece Solidarity Movement, the Campaign for Peace and Democracy, Syriza in New York, and other groups present here today, we all condemn what really constitutes a systematic and well-orchestrated attempt on the part of Golden Dawn to cultivate a climate of violence and civil war. We stand with the thousands of people who flooded the streets of Athens and many other cities all over Greece the days after the attacks to protest against violence and to condemn the complicity of the police. We stand with all anti-fascists who fight the murderous neo-Nazi ideology and practices. Now, other recent events suggest that Greece is heading in a very dangerous direction. Anti-fascist speech is actually treated as actionable before the Greek courts. For instance, Savas Matsas, Secretary General of the Revolutionary Workers' Party, was sued by Golden Dawn members for what they call libellous defamation and incitement to violence and civil discord, because of slogans chanted by the members of his political group during May 2009 during an anti-fascist protest. Greek media are suddenly full of speculation that New Democracy may ally with Golden Dawn heading into the next elections. The canonization of neo-Nazism in Greece is rapidly advancing. It falls upon us to stop their way and stop them from operating. It falls upon us to also make it crystal clear that the current government is directly responsible for the rise of fascism in Greece. They are responsible for a totalitarian political agenda which directly attacks democracy. It is the Greek government who is responsible for the concentration camps, for the criminalization of HIV, most recently with the imprisonment and public exposure of HIV-positive women. It is the Greek government who is responsible for the torture of detainees in police custody and the poisonous anti-immigrant rhetoric. We should not forget for a minute who is responsible and who should be held accountable for the destruction of democracy in Greece.
We're here today specifically for, there are two particular reasons that bring us together today, as opposed to any other day and in this location. Right now, according to the schedule of the General Assembly, as of 5:30, the speaker in the General Assembly from the podium is Venizelos, who is the leader of the PASOK party in the government, the junior leader of the Greek government, and who is thus responsible for the policies of this government, which we are very much here to protest today. It is not only about Golden Dawn and the Nazis, it is about the government that has made this rise of the Nazis possible. Okay, 5 years ago, until 2012, for 30 years, Golden Dawn was a 0.5% party on the periphery of Greek politics. It was a joke. Nazis, they are openly Nazi in Greece. They take their precepts from German National Socialism. They'll say so, and then they will, in public, they'll want to sue people for calling them Nazis, but they are Nazis, okay? And last year, with the austerity and with years of protest already having brought nothing in terms of stopping this austerity program imposed by the Greek government in accordance with the European Union, the Troika, what happened is suddenly 7% voted for the Nazis. So they're in parliament and they're acting legitimate. But they have continued, they have always been murderous. This isn't the first time. You know, Pavlos Fyssas is an escalation because they went after a known Greek activist who's known internationally as the rapper Killa P. And they murdered him on the street. 30 of them appeared. They blocked traffic so that they had a car go against traffic so that so that they could close off the street. And 30 of them surrounded Pavlos Fyssas and 6 of his friends. He stayed behind. He tried to stop them. He tried to stop them. And this fellow, I'm sorry, what's his name again? Roupakas. You know, he steps out of the car and stabs him 3 times, and he does an L shape on the abdominal stab because this is a professional assassination. And this Roupakas was in a Golden Dawn chapter in Nikia, which is a neighborhood near to where Pavlos Fyssas lived. And now it's come out that at Nikia they have organized something they call an attack battalion, where there's an inner circle, an outer circle, and in the inner circle they get all the guys who work out and are buffed up, and they send them around. It was the same group that was that attacked the Communist Party, who had just been distributing leaflets for their annual festival in Perama, and suddenly 30, 40 men appear with helmets and bats and they're studded with nails, and they start attacking these people who were giving out leaflets. So they have an organized force that is going around and committing this violence. And not just that, you know, they are all, you know, their mentality, they're constantly attacking immigrants. That's what, there's an escalation here now because they attacked a Greek activist, but you know, they've been attacking immigrants, they've been attacking people in the street all the time. Now, for the last year, they are creating an atmosphere of terror, and this is only possible with police tolerance. What happened after Pavlos Fyssas' murder is in the week that followed, suddenly the government said, we're going to open up cases against Golden Dawn. Now they say 32 cases of violence that they had not been pursuing before. 2 top police officials in Athens resigned suddenly due to personal reasons. So it was said, they're the ones associated with Golden Dawn. It's coming out that they have a lot of contacts. They are informed by the police before raids. They have friends in the police. So this is very much a matter of sponsoring what's called a strategy of tension. You create fear in the population, and fear in the population. And you make a narrative of the extremes where you say, oh, we're faced with violence from all sides. The right and the left is the same thing. So they're trying to equate all the time the Nazis with the party of the left, Syriza. It's not even the most left party. You know, it depends. We might have a debate about that. You know, they are a party of civil society. You know, Syriza does not attack people in the streets. Okay? So this is why we have to come here today and identify that it's not just Golden Dawn, it's not just fascism, it's also about this insane austerity that's constantly being imposed on the people of Greece to pay a debt that they've already paid off, if you just count in euros how much they've paid. But the interest keeps adding up, and the international banking community must get its due, and the European Union is enforcing this on Greece, and the Greek governments are faithfully executing every so-called memorandum agreement. This week, it's unbelievable what happened on Monday. I don't know if everyone is aware, the University of Athens, the administration of the University of Athens had to shut down the university, or they announced an indefinite, immediate shutdown of the university. All academic activities, all research activities, everything is shut down because of the budget cuts. And they made an appeal to Europe and to the courts to do something. So this is the situation. People have to get diplomas. You know, there's 2/3 youth unemployment in Greece right now, and no university. I mean, when we say the University of Athens, in a sense, this goes back 3,000 years. It's the reincarnation of Plato's academy. So this is insane. This is insane what is happening in Greece, and yet they have not given an inch on any of the memorandum, on any of the austerity, despite 24 general strikes, despite millions in the street at some point. So what's happened is the people have become increasingly discouraged. And with the murder of Pavlos Fyssas, Georgia, can you turn that one around? Oh no, that wasn't the one. I was going to say there's a slogan that says, kill one of us and 1,000 join the struggle. And that's what has happened the last 2 weeks as well. Tens of thousands of people, enormous marches suddenly in Athens and all around Greece, but not only in Athens, there have been solidarity actions all across Europe. In France, in the UK, in multiple cities in both, in Spain, in Valencia, in Madrid, in Stockholm. So we are part of that as well. We are part of an international solidarity movement that is bearing witness to what is happening in Greece and counteracting this capitalist propaganda of the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times that's saying, oh, the Greeks, they messed up, they got to pay their debts. No, Greece is run by a small elite who have been plundering the country all along. That's where this debt came from. Okay, and we can get into the credit default swaps with Goldman Sachs if you want to know. They were hiding 1/3 of the Greek debt until 2009. They had it off the books, and suddenly in 2009 it was announced, stop. Now the debt is 1/3 bigger, and you must pay, and there must be austerity. It's the same thing that they want to do here. It's the same thing they're doing all around the world. This is the logic of capitalism. Okay, they won't be satisfied until we're all working for peanuts, for nothing. This is why we have to fight. This is why we have to unite. This is why we are in alliance, in networking with all the left groups of New York.
To protect democracy and decency in Greece and everywhere. And because I know all of you, and I've started reading the Greek press in translation, I know more than most people in the United States know about the terrible, aggressive, vicious, brazen behavior of the right in Greece and the complicity of the Greek government with it. I think the question that must be being debated in Greece is how are they going to pose a left alternative that can resolve this crisis, because the crisis is getting deeper and deeper. Everyday life is unbearable economically, now with thugs knifing people in the streets, And this is a situation of tension and limbo that cannot last forever. So I can't pretend to lay down tactics for the left or even strategy for the left in Greece, but I think that simply waiting for the next election, when the left wins an election, I don't think there will be a next election if this keeps on.
The struggle of the Greek people against the austerity, because it's the austerity that has bred fascism and that has grown so much in the Greek political system. Austerity over the last 6 years has grown Golden Dawn into a political force that's now represented in the parliament. Unless the present government reverses its decisions for austerity politics, we will not get rid of the monster of Golden Dawn and fascism in Greece. Unless the present government doesn't clear out the judicial system, the police and the army, we will never get rid of Golden Dawn. Fascism will always exist under any name and under any pretext. So we are all here today to demonstrate our solidarity with the people in Greece. They are not alone in this struggle. They are not alone because this struggle is a struggle everywhere. Everywhere where austerity has been imposed and will be imposed, fascism will grow. And that's why we have to gather all together and join our voices against austerity and fascism in Greece and everywhere.
Not only the fact that Golden Dawn and the neo-Nazi movement in Greece has been assassinating immigrants and now also Greeks themselves who oppose their politics, but to also voice our displeasure with the government and with the project of the government and with the project of neoliberalism, because what fascism struggles for and fights for is order, a complete orderly society with nothing that is out of place, with nothing that is disruptive. The government and the Troika desire the same. They want people to be servile, to take whatever the market dictates to them, and to be subservient to the state. So if you are opposed to fascism, you will also have to be opposed to the Greek government today and to liberalism, because they want, maybe sometimes using different tactics, the same thing, which is order and security at the price of freedom and liberty. And what we want as part of the radical left is human excellence and autonomy and freedom over questions of being orderly and keeping in your place.
Pavlos Fyssas become your martyr and my martyr too, that Greece will stop being the martyr for anyone. So let's get up. There is a lot of work to be done. Let's continue the fight.